First off, I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. That's the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son in our original language, which is Hebrew. Okay? Before we came over to America, this land, we spoke Hebrew. You see what I'm saying? We had our own customs. And this is some of our customs right here. You see what I'm saying? We have to wear beards. These are all these things that's documented in the Bible. The Bible ain't nothing but a black history book. But the thing is, these enemies, which God says we have enemies, so I got to call it for what it is. Our enemies put their hands on our book and put themselves in here. And that's how they made it an all-around book like God loves everybody. But God don't love everybody. Let me ask you a question. Does God love everybody? Okay. Well, you don't. I'm going to show you. Let's get Romans 19, 9 verse 13. And then we're going to get into the heritage and show you who you are according to the Bible. Do you see yourself on this sign over here, King? Like these, on this side would be the names that's in the Bible. But on this side would be the names that the slave masters put on us during the time of slavery. So you ain't going to find none of these in the Bible, but you'll find these names in the Bible. So where do you see yourself? What is your father, race, nationality?
Judah.
Judah, all praises. That's you makes you a Judite, King. All right, that's what it makes you. Let's prove it. Let me drop that. Let me get Numbers 1 and 18. Let's prove it out of the Bible. Because all things must be said out of the Bible, and the pastors don't do that. They may read 1 or 2 verses and then go ahead and do a whole sermon on the 1 or 2 passages. You see what I'm saying? But the Bible said not to read it like that. You got to read precept upon precept. So we're going to go ahead and dig into it.
Numbers 1 and 19? 18. Got the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
They determined their pedigree by who?
By the house of their fathers.
A pedigree. Do you know what a pedigree is? A pedigree is a bloodline. All right? It determines where you stem from. Right? The what is it? The tree? What is that? But it's your heritage. Okay? Your bloodline. What blood do you come from? So if you come from the tribe of Judah, for saying the Messiah came from the tribe of Judah. You know Judah is the top tribes out of the Israelites? And the top tribe, Judah. That's why in the Bible is documented that he was going to raise Judah up first. That's why you're seeing more blacks out here in America was the first to be risen up out here teaching. Do you see a lot of prophets out here teaching?
I see them online.
Okay. Well, yeah, they out here, okay? Because God says Judah will be risen first, but now all the other tribes have risen up too. You see what I'm saying? But he did that to let us know what time we'll be in, because he said in the end days, he's going to send his spirit among earth to wake up the remnant of his children before his son return. That's how we know we in the end times, okay? But it goes by your pedigree of the house of your fathers. Because people will say, well, everybody mixed in, right? How can the Israelites be today from way back then? And we've been mixing. You see what I'm saying? With other nations. But it goes by your father. So whatever your father is, that's what you are. You got what I'm saying? It don't determine by the woman. You see what I'm saying? Like you got heathens. A heathen is a people outside of Israel, right? So a Caucasian would be a heathen, right? If I had a baby by a heathen, that baby will be an Israelite because I'm an Israelite. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's flip it. If a Caucasian has a baby by a female black person, right? That baby will be a heathen. You see what I'm saying? So it determines by the house of your fathers. You got that? That's what the pedigree is, okay? Your lineage, your blood type, okay? Now, we're going to go give you Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Now we're going to prove to you how you're an Israelite, because I said you're an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? Now I'm going to prove to you, I'm going to prove it out of the Bible, okay?
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Who is Moses speaking to?
Unto all Israel.
No, he's speaking to everybody.
Unto all Israel.
Every nation.
Unto all Israel.
Every race.
Unto all Israel.
Who is Moses speaking to?
To all Israel.
Is he all Israel, right?
Yeah.
He ain't say all races or all nations, right?
Yeah.
He only said he's speaking to the children of Israel. All right, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Right? Let's see what Moses said to the children of Israel. Now, this is the time when Moses took us across the Red Sea. Are you familiar with that history? Okay, well, we was slaves in Egypt, right? So Moses was God's servant, and his job was to bring the children of Israel out of slavery from the Egyptians. So God gave Moses the power, and he departed the Red Sea, and the children of Israel came through it, right? And God showed his power by dropping the water to kill the whole army of the Egyptians. That was the first time that the people on earth seen God's power. That was the first time he fought for the children of Israel. Okay? To sum it up, make it quick. But so this is what they in the wilderness. This is when Moses went up to Mount Sinai and got the 10 commandments. Okay? Because it was a burning bush. You familiar with that history?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is when Moses came down. And remember, when Moses came down, the children of Israel then built the golden calf. You see that? It was idolatry, which is one of our number one faults. You see what I'm saying? We like to serve other gods. So God just showed his power, right? Bringing them across the Red Sea, killed the whole army. Moses went up to get the commandments. By the time he came down, they was already worshiping another god. You see that thing? Okay, but this is where we at. We are in the wilderness at this point. 28 and 1. Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken,
if we will listen
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
So, if the children, this is Moses speaking to the children of Israel, remember? He said, if the children of Israel will listen to the Most High God, law, statutes, and commandments will be set on high, right?
Set thee on high above all nations.
No, equal to.
Above all nations of the earth.
So if we would listen to the Most High God through his law, statutes, and commandments, will be set on high above all people. Now, there's the flip side. Give me that 28 and 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If we will not listen. Now, we read you the first time. If we will listen, we'll be set on high blessings. Now, he's saying, if we will not listen.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Is a curse a good or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing, right? Okay. So let me give me the book of Daniel chapter 9 verse 10. Now, there's two sides of a coin, as you already seen. If the children of Israel will listen to the Most High God, they'll be set on high above all nations. But if they will not listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, they will be cursed. Okay? Now we about to find out, did they listen or did they not listen? Okay? Read what you got.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
The what?
The curse is poured upon us.
The what?
The curse is poured upon us.
Now the children of Israel did not listen to the voice of the Lord, so now the curses was poured upon them. So now the Bible is saying that curses, the children of Israel going to have curses on them. Give me Deuteronomy 28:45. Let's start there. All right. So we know about the blessings and the curses. The children of Israel did not listen to Moses. You know what I'm saying? So they got cursed. The curses poured upon them. Now we're going to read some curses, because the curses will show you who you are according to the Bible. You got that? Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28,
verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee.
What did that say?
Moreover, all these curses, Salakia, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Until when?
Till thou be destroyed.
Until when?
Till thou be destroyed.
Until we be destroyed as a people. I got a question. Are we destroyed as a people?
No,
We're not destroyed.
not yet.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. We're not destroyed physically, but are we destroyed mentally?
Most of it.
Huh?
Most of us.
Most of us. That's right. because those was curses poured upon them. Continue to read.
Till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord.
Because they what?
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these curses is going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign and for a wonder. You got that? It's like we on Liberty Avenue. We know that we on Liberty Avenue because the sign says we on Liberty Avenue. Just like that subway. We know that subway because the sign says that subway. Now these curses is going to be put on the children of Israel for a sign to let you know who the children of Israel are. Now, give me Deuteronomy 28:16.
I got the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So God said, cursed shall the Israelites be in the city, and cursed shall they be in the field. Now, when you look around at each city throughout America, even the world, what people are cursed? What people are at the lowest state that's struggling? Black people, right? Puerto Ricans are too, right? Jamaicans are too, right? Mexicans are too, because they are brothers and sisters. A lot of our people don't even know that. You see what I'm saying? We're not allowed to hate or fight our brothers and sisters, but we do it all the time but when we do that, we go against God. You see that? Read that again, Hebrew.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Who was cursed in the field? Going through history. What people was cursed in the field? Black people, right? Taking sugar cane for free, right? Cotton for free, and so on, right? With no wages. See what I'm saying? Give me that scripture with no wages, King. Right? So our people was picking cotton. That's what we got these posters out here for, King. But I don't see the one with the we was out here picking cotton, right? Our people, remember what I told you before, the Bible is a black history book, right? That's what I said, right? Because it's true, you're going to find out. Did you know that Christ was black? What color is Christ? Let me ask you that.
Like a burnish type of reddish brown.
I burnt brass as if he burnt in the furnace, okay? Burnt. All right? So, read that.
Okay. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and verse 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
Do what?
That uses his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work.
Did that not happen to? Who did it happen to? That's right. We worked for free without no wages. That's how America got built, right? That's how America is one of the richest countries on the planet, because we built this up with no wages, with no pay, from working from sun up to sun down. You see what I'm saying? Nothing. Now we voluntarily do that today, but that's on our own. You see what I'm saying? We decide if we want to work from sun up to sun down. You see what I'm saying? It's a double shift, right? But at the same time, we getting paid for it. Could you imagine working forcefully? You see what I'm saying? Can't call off, but working forcefully with no pay. Could you imagine that today? So it was harsher back then. So imagine what our ancestors went through. You see what I'm saying? We gotta look at this thing in reality, because reality is what it is. A lot of our people don't like to look at things in reality. You see what I'm saying? We like to pretend that everything is all right, everything is equal, we equal to everybody. Meanwhile, we the ones that's got the Black Lives Movement going on, because we keep getting shot, killed with our hands up. Unjust, right? That's us. That's what the Black Lives Matters movement is for, right? The same things that happened back then is still happening here, but the only difference is we reading it out of the Bible. Because the churches, the pastors will not read this out of the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Because they really don't have no fruit of the true living God. You know that? But we're supposed to be out here on the highway and hedges, teaching. We're not supposed to be in no temple. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well let's read it. Give me Acts 45. What is 7 to 45? 743, Sloppy. 748, I'm all over the place. Acts 748.
The book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 48. Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
The Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. You hear that? Read that again, King.
Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands.
But why?
As saith the prophet, heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, saith the Lord Yahweh? Or what is the place of my rest?
Right? So did God create heaven and earth? So how can the person say, I'm going to build a church for you, oh God? You see that? He gave us the stuff to build everything. He knows what we can do and what we can't do. He gave us all the material to build up. You see what I'm saying? So how a person go just build up something and say, this is for you, oh God, when he gave us the whole world? You see what I'm saying? Read that again from the top.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in.
Now he's speaking about his true prophets, his true servants that's called by the Most High. Because these pastors, Christian church, they're not called by the Most High. They don't do nothing that the Bible say do. And not only that, they add to the Bible. They say God loves everybody. They say all you got to do is believe on Christ and you can be saved. These are all lies. Come as you are. You can't come as you are. That's not in the Bible. They add to the word. But you know what? It's all over money. Give me Luke 14 verse 23. All praise, that's the spirit.
Again, we have and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
That my house may be filled. Give me Isaiah 58 verse 1. We're going to show you why we out here, because he just said, come out to the hedges and the highways and teach my people to come in, right? To bring them back to the house. Children of Israel, that's the house. Turn back to your true nationality. Because a lot of our people don't even know how royal they are. That's why when I sing you, I say, how you doing, king? I address you by who you truly are. I'm not going to say, how you doing, nigga? No, because you're not no nigga. You see what I'm saying? A wise man has knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So we have the knowledge. So now we know where we are. We know who we are. We know how special we are. That's why we can stand here bold like this. You see what I'm saying? Because you are truly a king from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe that Christ came from. Read what you got.
The book of Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1.
This is why we out here.
Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression.
I'm a flower, king. It's a YouTube channel on the bottom of that that's highlighted in blue. Check that out. WFI Pittsburgh. You go on YouTube, you check that out, and that's where you'll find us, all right? Check that out, king. Yep. Have a good one. All right. You'll learn the rest of your history. There you go. You'll find the rest of your history on that thing. Check it out. Because it's your true history. It's your true nationality, your heritage. You're a king. Our ancestors was kings. All right? Our praises. You're welcome, king. Yes, sir. So this is why we out here. We out here to wake our people up to the truth. Nothing but the truth. That's what we out here for. Okay? We got to show our people the truth, because guess what? The pastor's been lying to us for generations after generations after generations, to the point where people hear the truth, they don't accept it. They don't want to hear it, even though it's coming out of the Bible. But this is how deceived our people been over the last years, over the last decades, over the last thousands of years. Read what you got, King.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 10. To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it.
That's right, and a lot of our people don't know who they are. Our people don't know we special, we kings. Right? Our females are princesses, they don't know that they're princesses. Right? Because guess what? Our men is treating the princesses like they're not princesses. Right? They bash them, down them all the time, right? They don't think that they're nobody. We got to reverse that thing, like for real, because there's not a lot of men out here. Let me get that in Kings chapter, 1 Kings 2 and 2, King. There's not a lot of men out here. Real men is not standing up in the household. That's why we broken as a people. Because our men is so quick to leave the household when we got kids and leave their kids behind. They quick to go to a whole other state and start over. Come on, man, that's not being a man. Read what you got.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
Be thou what?
Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
We got to show ourselves a man. Read.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses.
And that's how we show ourselves a man. By keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
If you're a grown man out here and you're not keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, you're just a boy. And it don't matter what age you is. We got men out here, we got men that's 65 plus, still boys. Never learned through all them years how to be a real man. These are the things we got to change in our community. Right? It ain't about walking around. I got a question for y'all. What color is the Messiah? Okay. All right. I'm gonna let them do with that. All right. Guess what? A lot of people out here, they know the truth. They know the real truth. But a lot of them won't admit it, especially our enemies. Our enemies will not admit the truth. Right? But guess what? The truth will set you free. Okay? The truth is what's going to set you free. Understand that. Our people, our men out here is not real men. Because we're not real men, because we don't follow the Bible. We don't follow the Bible the way the Bible says to follow it. So if you can't understand the instructions from the person who created heaven and earth, how are you going to expect your kids to listen to you? Because a lot of our grown men and elders that grew up, and they had all with their children. Because they weren't raised the correct way. They weren't raised in the law, statutes, and commandments. They didn't do the things that our Savior said to do. They didn't do that. They wanted to go about their own righteousness. Let me get down to Romans chapter 10, verse 1. 10, verse 3, Hebrew. Right? We go about establishing our own righteousness rather than doing God's righteousness. Let's see what the Bible says.
The book of Romans chapter 10 and verse 2. For I bear them record that they have the zeal of the Most High God, but not according to knowledge.
Our people have the zeal of the Most High God. That's where you get these pastors from, these Christian churches. They got a zeal. They want to do the work for the Most High God, but it's not according to knowledge. What is the knowledge? The Bible is the knowledge. They read it but don't understand it. Read that again, Hebrew.
For I bear them record that they have the zeal of the Most High God, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of the Most High God's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness.
Hello, King. How you?
I'm blessed. How about you?
All right. You know who you are according to the Bible?
Yep.
Who are you?
Hold on. Look.
All right. The sign right here. Those are the royal people at. You see yourself on that sign?
This one.
Oh, you from the Gad?
Yeah.
The Native Indians.
Yeah.
The people that was the tribe that was already here before so-called Christopher Columbus discovered America. You see that lie? They say Christopher Columbus discovered America. Meanwhile, it was Israelites from the tribe of Gad already over here.
Already.
How can you discover something when it's already occupied? I thought discovering something was a discovery that no man has seen nor touched. We out here to dumb down the lies that our oppressors have done. And they did a number on our people. Okay? So you would be from the tribe of Gad, right? So a lot of the Native Indians, right, that was over here, they either got slaughtered, right, round up and shipped to another country, another continent.
Yep.
That's what happened. And they brought us, right, we from the tribe of Judah, they brought us from Africa, from Israel, right, over here. So what they would do is, if you was from, right, if you was from Africa, they'd ship you somewhere else. If you was
From here,
they take you somewhere.
There
You go. There you go. And that's how they did. They would not let a people that was already in the land stay in that land. You see that? That's how we was overtaken. Did you know slavery was in the Bible documented?
Twice.
Okay. Because that's our heritage. Our heritage is in the Bible. That's where our heritage be. That's who we are. We are God's chosen people. We are a royal nation. Point blank period. But guess what? We're not acting like it. We're not acting like we royalty. But that's what time it is. It's time to come back to our one and only true God. With the UFOs?
Yeah.
Those are chariots of the Most High. That's what those are. The chariots of the Most High. Let me get that in Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. Slakia. Right? They make all these movies. You ever see the movie Independence Day?
Yep.
They got 2 of them. Okay, now the newest one, they showing us who we are. But remember the aliens that they had locked up, already held captive here? Right? And then when they heard that the mothership was coming, they all started jumping around. And they said, what are they doing? They getting all roused up. He said, no, they're not roused up. They're celebrating. Because they knew that was their Savior coming back to redeem them. You see what I'm saying? They was in captivity if you think about it. When you go back, them aliens was in captivity. Right? We are in captivity. See, they show us who we are, but they won't explain it. You see what I'm saying? They just put the alien there for us in our position. You see that thing? And then and another thing that they changed is they was able to beat the alien that came. Because that spaceship was a reminder of the Messiah coming back. You see what I'm saying? And he's coming in the clouds like a whirlwind, just as it is written. That's why you see those UFOs, because those are the chariots of the Most High God. They talk about their unidentified alien UFOs, right? They know exactly what they are, but they don't want us to know. Remember, if you take it back 20 years, whoever came out and saying anything about UFOs, they would kill them. They would silence them. Quick to do that, right? Because they didn't want the truth getting out. Read what you got, King. Let's read out of the Bible.
The book of Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots.
With his what?
And with his chariot.
And with his what?
And with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
And his rebuke with flames of fire. But guess what? The church told us that he's coming back for all kisses and hugs. He's coming back to save the people that was not sinning. And that's what they say?
That's what they say.
That's what they say. But I can see you a wise man because we know better than that. Right? We know we got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We have to the Messiah is only coming back for obedient children. That's it. The children that was keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments that was given to us by Moses and all the rest of the prophets that came. We must do his commandments, because when the Messiah returns, those who died didn't was right. Give me that in Revelation chapter 20, verse 15.
The book of Revelation chapter 20 verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life.
What?
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life.
What that say?
And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
Was what?
Was cast in the lake of fire.
Whoever is not written in the book of life when the Messiah returns is getting cast into the lake of fire. It ain't just the heathen people that's getting the punishment. It's the children of Israel that did not want to hearken to